Hi there, this is Ranjit and I have this Lenovo Vibe S1 with me. And in this video, we'll be doing the camera review. The rear facing camera is a 13 megapixel shooter with LED flash, whereas the front facing camera is actually very special. It has actually two front facing camera. The main one is a 8 megapixel shooter, and there is also a secondary camera that is a 2 megapixel shooter. I'll talk about what this dual camera does later on, and I'll show you some sample shots. And I've taken a lot of pictures and I'll show you that, and I'll also compare it with the Oneplus X camera, because the pricing of these devices is very similar, and I did get quite a few requests to compare the camera performance. So we'll also be checking out the camera samples even with this Oneplus X. And before I show you the samples, let me actually show you the camera interface. And this is the camera interface that you get. This is the front facing camera. Let's move to the rear facing camera. And in terms of modes, we do not get a lot of mode. We have the auto mode, and the panorama mode. So just the basic modes, you can toggle on the flash, you can actually change to HDR. So those were the options. And if you go to the settings, you can change the aspect ratio to 16:9 or 4:3. And in video, it shoots video up to 1080p. So some basic settings, I would say. And let's just remove this HDR mode and let's go to normal mode, and we have the regular tap to focus that we expect, as you can see. And in terms of focusing, it does a decent job, and after focusing it takes the snaps actually quickly, so that's not an issue. And the camera performance sort of mediocre, I would say. In outdoor conditions it does a good job, but in artificial lighting it struggles. I'll show you the sample shots later on. But the very interesting thing that Lenovo is touting is the dual camera. This is the front facing camera, and this is the regular setup, and we have the beauty mode also. You can just slide it, and we have this dual camera setup. Now it says dual camera, so it's going to use both the cameras. And if we take this picture now, and I've taken that picture, now you can do some special effects with this. For example, let's go to the gallery, and if we go to the gallery and look at the pictures, the pictures that we have taken with the dual camera have this icon. So let's just switch on to this one, and now I can actually play around with the background and blur it. As you can see, now I can add that sort of bokeh effect. Notice this background, it's now sharp, but I can add that bokeh effect to gives you a feeling like it was taken with a DSLR. So this can easily be done. Actually, let me show you one more example. Outdoors, if you take the pictures, it's much more easier to work with this one. And I've taken some sample shots. For example, this one, as you can see, let's use this blur mode. And as you can see, we get that beautiful bokeh effect. You can actually tap anywhere, and that will be in focus, and the other area will have that bokeh effect. We can increase that bokeh, as you can see. So you can adjust that. You can also make it spirally effect like this. So that is the option that we have. But apart from that, another thing that you can do is, let's just get out of this one, is the cutout option. And if you click on this cutout now, it's going to trace out this, and you can now put this picture to any background or stuff. And for example, we have a couple of backgrounds or whatever pictures you have in your gallery. You can use that and create a photograph. And actually, as you can see, and this was done very quickly, but you can get some decent effects, as you can see, with this one if you do it carefully. So this is the dual camera setup. I would say it's nothing revolutionary, and I thought that it is sort of gimmicky. Yes, you can get some decent effects if you take time, but that is essentially the dual camera setup. Now actually, let me show you the camera samples that I've taken so that you can judge the camera performance. These pictures were shot with the rear facing camera of the Vibe S1, and as you can see, in outdoor conditions when there is plenty of light, the camera does a very good job as expected. But let's compare how it compares with the Oneplus X now. And as you can see, the Oneplus X produces color more accurately, and also in terms of exposure, I felt the exposure on the Oneplus X was far better. Vibe S1 just overexposes most of the time. Recording this video with the Vibe S1 at the highest setting possible, that is 1080p. And the audio that you are hearing is also being recorded by the internal microphone. And it's a windy day today, so there might be quite a bit of wind noise, and I'm recording this handheld. and I'm just going to pan around. And now we're just going to walk back to see how is the video stabilization. So this should give you an idea about the video recording with the Vibe S1 in outdoor conditions. Regarding this part of the video with the front facing camera of this Vibe S1, I'm just going to move around to give you an idea how it handles abrupt exposure, and I'll also actually record a sample video in completely artificial lighting in the later part of the video to give you an idea how this Vibe S1 performs video recording with the front facing camera. So this is the sample recording with the front facing camera in outdoor lighting conditions. These were shot in semi-indoor conditions, and here also the Vibe S1 performed below average, and the flash also fired a lot of times even in these lighting conditions. Now let me compare it with the Oneplus X. The flash is definitely powerful on the Vibe S1 and it can fill the pictures, but if you don't use the flash, as you can see, the Vibe S1 is just not sharp in artificial lighting. It just tries to overexpose and there is no detail in artificial lighting with the Vibe S1. Moving to the front facing camera, it's the same pictures. Pictures if you take in outdoor lighting and where there is ample of light, the pictures come out to be really good. But when we move to artificial lighting and in difficult lighting conditions, the front facing camera also struggles and there is quite a bit of blur for pictures taken in artificial lighting. Recording this part of the footage with the front facing camera of this Vibe S1, but now I'm in completely artificial lighting in my office. I have just one tube light switched on. Let me actually switch on one more light. And this is with two lights. So this should give you an idea regarding the front facing camera's performance in artificial lighting conditions. So what do I feel about the camera performance on this Vibe S1? To be frank, I would say the camera performance is sort of below average and sort of disappointing. The rear facing camera I thought would do a lot better, but again, as we have seen, it really struggles in artificial lighting and low lighting. Yes, when there is plenty of lighting, it takes some decent shots, but again, most Android smartphones do that. The problem is when they move in low lighting, and definitely here the Vibe S1 did not do a good job. In fact, I would say this Oneplus X did far better in artificial lighting and low lighting compared to this Vibe S1. When we move to the front facing camera, yes, we have that dual camera setup, so you can get sort of those interesting effects, but apart from that, I don't see the front facing camera also to be a selling point, because even in artificial light we noticed that the front facing camera was not that great. So strictly speaking, in terms of camera, I was not that happy with the camera performance of this Vibe S1. I'll also be posting the full in-depth review for this Vibe S1 very soon, so stay tuned to my channel, and if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thank you. This is Ranjit and I hope to see you in my next video.